All right, let's talk about one of the most famous ideas in all of psychology, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're going to frame this as a climb, a journey up a mountain, because this isn't just some dusty old theory. It's a map that can help us understand what truly drives us and what we're capable of. So let's get ready to start the climb.
So, before Maslow came along, the world of psychology was, well, it was a little bit grim. You had thinkers like Freud, who basically said our lives are just one long battle with unconscious baggage from our childhood. Then you had others who saw us as simple creatures, just responding to rewards and punishments. But is that really the whole story? Are we really just stuck between our past and whatever cookie someone is dangling in front of us?
You can really see the two worlds colliding here. On one side, you've got this older, kind of pessimistic view where everything is determined for us, life is a struggle, and psychology's main job is to figure out what's wrong with you. But then, humanistic psychology came along, and it was this radical, optimistic breath of fresh air. It said, hold on, people have free will. Life isn't a struggle, it's a journey toward growth. It completely flipped the script from focusing on sickness to focusing on health and potential.
And the guy right at the center of this more hopeful science was Abraham Maslow. He just couldn't accept that we were nothing more than a bundle of symptoms or a series of learned behaviors. He had this deep belief that to really understand people, you couldn't just study the broken parts. You had to study people at their absolute best.
And this quote, wow, it tells you everything about where he was coming from. He actually went to medical school for a short time when he was young, and he was horrified by it. He saw these surgeons who were amazing at their jobs, technically, but they treated people like a machine with broken parts. Maslow knew, deep down, that we're so much more than that. He wanted a psychology that treated people as whole, feeling human beings.
You know, his early life really explains a lot. He grew up facing a lot of prejudice, and books became his safe place, his escape. That experience, plus seeing that cold, detached view of people in medicine, it all pushed him to find a better way, a more complete and human way to understand what makes us tick.
And that brings us to his famous hierarchy. The best way to think about it is like building a pyramid or climbing a mountain. It all has to start with a solid base. You can't just teleport to the top. You have to build from the ground up, step by step.
So, the first two levels are what we could call our survival needs. At the very bottom, you've got physiological needs. This is the absolute stuff of life. Air, water, food, shelter. I mean, if you can't breathe, you're not worrying about your career path, right? Once that's covered, we immediately look for safety. We need to feel secure, to have some order and predictability in our lives, to be free from constant fear. These two layers are the bedrock everything else is built on.
Okay, so once you have that foundation, you're fed, you're safe, you can start looking up. The next part of the climb is all about our social and psychological needs. This is where we go from just surviving to actually living and connecting with other people. Right after we feel safe, the next thing we're hardwired to seek out is connection. This is a huge one. We have this deep, powerful need for friends, for intimacy, for belonging to a tribe or a family. Maslow is really clear on this. Love isn't a luxury, it's an essential nutrient for a healthy psyche.
Now, this is one of Maslow's most fascinating ideas about love. He noticed that how much love we get early on changes how we pursue it later. People who never ever receive love might actually stop being able to give it. People who get plenty of love grow up healthy and secure. But it's that middle group, the people who only got a small taste of love. They're the ones who are the most fiercely motivated, sometimes almost desperately, to find it for the rest of their lives.
So once we feel like we belong, the next thing we need is esteem. And this has two sides to it. There's the esteem we get from other people, respect, recognition, a good reputation. But just as important, if not more so, is self-esteem. That's the feeling of strength, of competence, of knowing you're capable and independent.
And that brings us to the peak, the summit of the mountain. This is the idea that really made Maslow's theory so revolutionary. It's not about filling a hole or fixing something that's broken. It's about reaching for the very best version of yourself.
So what does self-actualization really mean? It's the drive to become everything that you are capable of becoming. It's that inner pull to fulfill your unique potential. If you're a painter, you need to paint. If you're a teacher, you need to teach. It's about becoming, well, the most you can possibly be. It's not a destination, it's a constant process of growth.
So, what does this actually look like in a real person? Well, Maslow found they share some common traits. They tend to think about big philosophical questions, not petty drama. They're very comfortable being alone.
They're guided by their own inner compass, not by what everyone else thinks. They have a strong sense of right and wrong, and they just have a knack for knowing what really matters.
So, we've made the climb, we're at the top, and we're looking out. What's the big takeaway from all of this? According to Maslow, it all comes down to a single fundamental choice that we face over and over again every single day of our lives.
It all comes down to this: safety versus growth. Every choice you make is either a step back into the safety of your comfort zone or a step forward into growth. The safety choice means avoiding risk, sticking with what's familiar. The growth choice means embracing a challenge, stepping into the unknown, and being willing to learn from it. And every single time you choose growth, you take one more step up that mountain towards self-actualization.
And listen, this isn't just some nice, feel-good idea. Modern research totally backs this up. People who consistently choose the path of growth, they report being healthier, happier, and more fulfilled. It really is the secret ingredient.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Using Maslow's pyramid as your map, where are you on your climb right now? Are you still shoring up your foundation of safety? Are you searching for connection? Are you standing at the peak, reaching for your full potential? What does that very next step on your climb look like for you?